What's up? This is Ray. Welcome back. Hey, this is going to be a fun video, man, because look, about 2 years ago, I did a review of a skateboard. It was the Land Yachts dinghy. That video became so popular. I think it's like at 140,000 views right now, which is ridiculous because this is a photography channel. And my photography videos don't go nowhere near that. I get so many comments from people saying, man, you should start a skate channel. Even asking questions about what gear to use. So I decided, you know what, I need to do a follow-up. So this video is not a gear review. It's going to be a tutorial teaching adults how to skate. The reason I say that, there's tons of skate videos on YouTube already, but they're kind of tailored to kids. It's different when you're an adult trying to learn. We're not trying to fall 20 times a day. We don't want bloody elbows, and we're not going to be doing aerial tricks. We just want to cruise. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's the point of this video. We're going to be teaching you how to skate without killing yourself, how not to look too lame in the process, and to enjoy yourself. So yeah, if that sounds like something you're interested, stick around. I'm going to be checking out how to skate for grown-ups. Stay tuned. Okay, first things first, check this out. We cannot talk about adults learning to skate without talking about safety. It is very important that you wear a helmet, elbow, knee pads, and a lot of people even wear wrist guards, because if you fall, that's usually the first thing that's going to touch down first. Keep in mind, it's like riding a bicycle. You can't learn a bicycle without falling. It's the same thing with skateboard. And you're probably going to fall even more than learning on a bicycle because you're standing on something with wheels. So it's very important. Once you have these pads on, if you fall, you won't really feel a thing. And it's a good feeling jumping back up and you feel fresh. Keep in mind, there's people out there who's, if you come back with a bloody elbow, they're going to secretly smile on the inside and say, I told you so. I told you you shouldn't be doing that. So definitely protect yourself. It's very important. You're going to see people, even like me, riding around not wearing any pads. It's different once you know how to skate and you're just cruising. There's not a lot of falling going on, but it's still smart to wear that, especially in the beginning when you're learning. So it's better to overprotect, and you'll thank yourself throughout the learning process. All right, there's something very important we have to talk about even before you start learning to skate. 90% of the world is right-handed, right? And the other 10% is like left-handed. It's the same thing with skating. 90% of the world is left-footed first, and the other 10% is right foot. So it's important to find out which is your dominant foot. The only way to do that, to figure it out, is to try both of them. But what some people say is, if someone were to push you from behind, whichever foot you use to catch yourself, that's your dominant foot. I don't know how true that is though. So what I recommend is start with your left foot, since most of the world uses the left foot. Put your front foot on the rear bolts of the front truck. Put your toes right over those rear bolts in the middle of the board and give it a push. See how it feels. If it feels weird or awkward, it's going to feel that anyway your first time. Try the other foot. Again, right over the rear bolts of the front truck. And see how it feels. Whichever foot feels more natural, that's your dominant foot. That's the one you want to learn on, because you're going to learn much faster, better, and have less errors. But I have to point out that professionals, when they learn, they have to learn to ride with both feet. Because when they go up a ramp and come down, they're coming down on the opposite foot. And that's called coming down switch. And if you're riding on your opposite foot, your right foot first, that's called goofy. It's not an insult. That's just what they call it. So just keep those things in mind. Figure out which is your dominant foot before you start learning.
This off my mind. Does it only control you? Let me in, I'll help you out. I won't lose you this time. I feel you drifting up.
Okay, so check this out. One thing a lot of people ask me in the comments is, what kind of board should I get? And this is going to sound strange, but it really doesn't matter. The reason why I say that is, like if you're learning to drive a car, it doesn't matter what kind of vehicle you learn on, but there's some vehicles it's easier for. If you're learning in a car that you could see out of, It's small, it's easy to park, it'll be easier to learn than if you're driving a truck. But either way, you're gonna learn. So that's how it is with skateboards. Don't worry too much about what kind you get. But one thing I will say is if you get a long cruiser board or a long board, it may feel a little sluggish. It may be just too big to make that corner turn on the sidewalk. Or if you get a board that's too small, like a penny board, both of your feet probably won't even fit on it at the same time. So you get my point? It's good to get something in between that is comfortable for your feet. The next most important thing is you can learn on a trick board with the little wheels, but I recommend if you have a choice to learn on something like a cruiser with bigger wheels, because these bigger wheels are going to run over rough pavement. If there's a pebble there, that pebble can stop the trick board little wheel while this one will run right over it. So those are some things to keep in mind. This will help you not fall as easier. So if you have a choice, I recommend start with a bigger wheeled type of cruiser. Okay, so let's talk about foot position. Now that we know which foot is our front foot, see these 4 bolts in front of my toes? Those are the bolts that cover and hold the trucks in place. You want to put your toes right over the rear of the bolts. And also, you don't want to put your foot too far to the right or too far to the left. If your foot is to the right, I'm going to show you a video right now. As you push, you're going to be turning right, and it's going to be hard for you to maintain stability. And same as if you put it on the left side, you'll be pushing and turning left, and it's annoying when you're trying to learn. So make sure you put it right in the middle, toes over the rear of those bolts, and give it that push. And that's the best way for you to start off easy without having any troubles with balance. All right, check this out. Finally, this is going to be your first skate lesson. Enough talking, let's get to work. First thing you're going to do is, of course, you're going to put your front foot in position in the middle and just give it one push. And I'm going to show you what's going to happen. It's not going to be pretty the first time. Watch this. Going to put, the board might be unsteady. The board might shoot off in front of you like that. Make sure you get low as soon as you push. The board may be unsteady and it may shoot off behind you like that. Don't worry, it's perfectly normal. But the lower you are, the easier it's going to be to react. And one more thing. When you feel unsteady, like you're going to fall, put the foot down first. Put your foot down before you start falling. Because if you have one foot down, all you have to do is step off with the other. Much safer. You're going to do this probably for days, maybe a week or two, until you feel comfortable where you can stand up and relax. Okay, so here's something important. Probably everything's important. But how do you steer on a skateboard? You tilt the board to the left or to the right, and it's always best. You have to be kind of sideways. This way you can tilt to your toe side or to your heel side, and I'm going to demonstrate that right now. It's a little more tricky because as soon as you push off on the board, you want to reorient your feet sideways. For that, you have more leverage in turning. If you don't turn your front foot sideways, that front foot won't have any leverage, and it'll be only your back foot doing the turning. So let me demonstrate now how to rotate your feet as soon as you push off. It's going to make it so much easier to turn. One important thing to know is skateboarding is almost like a dance because you're constantly readjusting your foot position. So for example, let's say you're sideways for better turning. It's time to push again. Watch. I'm sideways. When I have to push, I got to put this foot forward again before I push. See what I'm saying? So you can't push while your foot is sideways, and you can't turn while your front foot is forward. So you're constantly adjusting. And it's kind of good. It keeps your mind active. Let's say there's a bump in the sidewalk. You put your back foot on the tail, lift it over it. So you're always looking at what's going on the road and readjusting your foot position. Another thing might happen, you may see a rough spot in the road. You shift your weight to the back of the board so the front wheel will go over it easier. Yeah, so there's always little techniques you will find to make it better, but always use these as like a beginning point, how to skate. And just remember, continue to move that front foot, whether you're pushing or turning. All right, check this out. This is something I never really understood. If you're a woman want to skate and you go to a skate park, you're going to see a bunch of guys. Not enough women skate, which I don't understand. But when you go to the skate park and you see all those guys, you may feel uncomfortable. Like you don't want to be around all these guys. But the truth is, guys aren't going to bother you at the skate park. They're not going to talk you to death. They're pretty much going to leave you alone. And what's cool about skate culture also is if you fall or if you mess up, no one's really going to laugh. It's kind of like an unwritten rule, a respect rule. So that's one cool thing about the skate culture. So if you're a woman, you want to learn to skate, just do your thing. Because anyone who skates have to not care what other people think anyway. So keep that in mind. Okay, so look, this is probably the most important thing to learn, and that is how to stop. You probably noticed throughout the video I'm dragging my right foot. It's important to know how to stop because you may be picking up speed going down a hill, and man, if you reach a point where you pick up so much speed, you can't stop yourself and it gets dangerous. So the way you stop, the most basic way, is what you see I just did. Put down your opposite foot and drag it. The first time you start doing that, it's going to feel weird because your body is going to twist. So it'll take time for you to figure out to get that balance. Let's do it one more time. Yeah, so you bend this knee, drag that foot. Drag it close to the board. If you drag it out here, it'll make your body twist more. So that's one way to stop. All right, so check this out. I'm going to show you a real world example of how to slow down. If you're going down a hill and you know you're going to be picking up too much speed, you swerve, you slalom left and right, but you have to do it hard to bleed off that speed. The tricky thing is if you push too hard, the back wheels can slide out, so you kind of have to feel it. So watch this. I'm going to show you how we do it. Okay, so you're probably wondering, what gear am I using? What is this board? This is the Land Yachts Tugboat. I actually reviewed this on the channel a while back, and I'll put a link somewhere up here where you can see it. Land Yachts actually sent me this board. They allowed me to choose any board I want from their catalog after they saw my first review, which is really cool. What I like about this board is it's not too long, not too small, and it's kind of the perfect size, and the deck is super stiff. It doesn't flex. What I didn't like when I got this board was it comes with some small 60mm wheels, and for me those are just too small. They didn't run over rough pavement well. So these are 70mm wheels that I had that I put on. It rolls so much better, so much smoother. And but keep in mind, whenever you put larger wheels on your board, you have to put, I don't know if you can see these spacers here between the trucks. You have to put spacers, otherwise the wheel will be too close to the deck and you'll get wheel bite. As you can see, I was getting a little wheel bite here and a little wheel bite here. So that's something to keep in mind. And every skateboarder tweaks and sets up their board a little different. So that's important to keep in mind. Whatever board you get, if you don't like how it rides, it's okay, because you're going to make adjustments anyway to suit your needs. So those are some things to keep in mind. Okay, so we're going to talk about something super important now. Remember I said we're going to talk about how not to kill yourself? It's easy to do, because especially if you're going downhill like this, sometimes you could be having so much fun, you're picking up more speed than you realize. And before you know it, you're going too fast to slide your foot to stop. You're going too fast to weave left and right to bleed off speed. So the final thing you can do is to jump off the board, but there's a right way to do it. If you do it wrong, you can fall and it could be even worse. So I'm going to show you a scenario now of me going down this hill, picking up too much speed. I'm going to show you how to jump off right here before I hit this grassy section. Let's check it out. All right, I don't know if you can see me up here on the bridge. So I'm weaving left and right now, bleeding off speed. Now that I reach this narrow area, I don't have enough room to weave. So watch what I do right before I hit the grass. All right, see that? It's not pretty, but it can save you from a fall. And when you jump, you want to make sure jump and leave the board behind you. If you jump and the board is in front of you rolling, you could step on it and you could do like I did one time and have a bad fall. So more importantly, if you could jump and leave the board in one spot like you saw me do, that's even better. But keep in mind, I was able to run after I jumped off because I was going at a speed that I could run at. So imagine if you pick up so much speed faster than what you're able to run. Even if you jump off, you're gonna trip and fall. So it's very important to jump off before you reach that terminal velocity. And most importantly, you have to practice this, but practice it at a lower speed than what I did. You're gonna get better results, and that's one of the tips of not to kill yourself skating. All right, I'm gonna show you something very important. This is part of the Not to Kill Yourself University. Look right here. You see how there's this big lift in the sidewalk? Sometimes you're gonna come across cracks in the sidewalk and things like that that can trip you. If you're skating, you don't wanna have to stop, get up, pick up the board, put it here, and then go again. You wanna be able to go over it. But I'm gonna show you what'll happen if you don't pay attention and you run into something like this. It doesn't look like much, but watch how it can make you fall. All right, I'm not going fast, just riding normal. You see that? It can catch you off guard. And if you're not aware, if you're going too fast, you can fall, of course. So I'm gonna show you one way to go over something like this without stopping. Check this out. What I'm gonna do, right before I hit the lip of that curb, I'm gonna put my right foot down and take all the weight off of my left foot. See that? Let's do it a little faster. All right, this is a full speed run. So the reason that works is that right as I'm approaching it, I took all my weight off of the board foot. That way it can just slide over. If your body weight is on it, the wheel won't clear it. So that's something important to keep in mind, how to get over cracks in the sidewalk and irregularities. It's not perfect. If I tried to do this at a taller point, maybe it wouldn't go over, but it's very important that you practice this while you're learning, and definitely start on smaller cracks first. Hey, one of my favorite things to do when I'm skating is to lean. It's just a cool feeling. It's like you're riding a motorcycle. But keep in mind, leaning can be dangerous, because what if there's a patch of sand right there and you're leaning hard? What do you think is going to happen when the wheel touches it? The wheel is going to slide out and you're going to be on the ground before you realize it. So yeah, skating is fun. You want to look around and have fun, but it's very important for you to keep track of what is on the ground you're about to run over. It could save you some serious embarrassment. One important thing to mention is, if you're interested in the skateboards and wheels and equipment I use, I'm going to put some Amazon affiliate links below to things I use and recommend. And if you also would like to shoot your own skate video like this, I'm going to put some links also to the video camera and the wireless microphone I use. All right, so that is my how to skate for grown-ups tutorial. This video was a long time coming. Hopefully you benefited from it. If you have any questions, definitely leave them below. If you're a skate company, reach out to me, because I love testing out new and fresh stuff like that. So yeah, thank you for watching though, and keep in mind, no matter what you skate, whether it's a inline or a penny board or a long board or whatever, just do it and have fun. And put your own spin on it. All right, see what I did there? Yeah, so thanks for watching, and keep in mind, no matter what you do, what you ride, until next time, keep it real. That review became so popular, I think it, wait, where's my spot? Oh, darn. I done missed my spot, ain't it? If you're curious, we're going to be studying how to skate. Whoa! So if you're curious, we're going to be studying how to skate for grown-ups.